Some of those kayak fishing rigs out there are absolutely insane. A lot of times because they're sponsored. Well, this one's sponsored as well by me. And I'm gonna walk you through bow to stern how I set up my kayak. Really, the hope of this is that you might pull one or two things from it that'll help you in your kayak fishing journey. Let's go! So the beauty of this video, I'm gonna be referencing all kinds of videos, all the installs and all the DIYs that I've done to this kayak. And this is my recent install of the NK180 motor. This thing is freaking sweet. So I fish a lot of big lakes around here, and I'm never able to, with my pedal drive, to get to the back of those and fish those because I have limited time of fishing. Usually Saturday mornings, I don't have enough time to get back there. But now with the NK180, I do. So the beauty of this guy, sits on the back of my kayak, and as you can see, there is a pole line that goes right up to here. And if I pick this up, I can lower and raise my motor in the back, all from my seat. Also back here, you see the reverse lock. And so if I ever get stuck, there's a pull line over here. I pull this and I can take the motor into reverse. So I got two of those bad boys. And then I hook it up. It's not hooked up right now, but this has a battery, a Propel battery that goes perfectly inside a milk crate. Propel lithium phosphate iron 50 amp hour 25.6 volt battery that will run this bad boy for a while. And I'm working on a battery box modification because this is a Newport battery box. However, it is rated for 12 volt, and I'm putting some step downs in here, working in the wiring to make this a 24 volt system so I can run my USBs off the side and any other ports. And I'm going to be running some quick connects. So if you're interested in that mod, go ahead and hit that sub. That'll be coming out in a couple weeks. So a few things to note on lithium phosphate batteries. They last like 10 times longer than your lead acid batteries. They're about the third of the weight of lead acid batteries. They have longer life cycles. So in a lead acid, you might get between 500 and 1,000 cycles. On a lithium phosphate iron LiFePO4 battery, you're going to get anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 cycles. They also have faster charging times. It's going to take you around 3 times longer to charge a lead acid. And if you do the math on it, the cost per life cycle is actually cheaper than your lead acid, although they're more expensive on the front end. It's going to operate my NK180 at 20% for around 32 hours for a range of like 64 miles, this bad boy. 40% for 10 hours, 34 miles. 60% throttle for 5 hours, 22 miles. 80% for about 3 hours, and you'll get around 16 miles. And if you go 100%, you can run that battery for like almost 2.5 hours, and you'll get around 12 miles. So pretty powerful. It's all I need is 50 amp hour. I didn't want anything bigger because I didn't want to carry the weight. I'll throw the install video in the description below. Next, let's look at this DIY kayak crate with 6 rod holders. Pretty inexpensive to make. I'll throw the video in the description on this too, but it's got a bungee top, flips open. You can put all of your edge, as you can see them up there. I have a bunch of edge tackle boxes that fit nicely in here. I think you can get like 5. I also, at the bottom here, never leave home without all the tools that you need to work on your kayak, right? You never know what's gonna go out there. Hate to be on some awesome trip only to find out that you need a tool to tighten the seat because this weird thing and you don't have it. So just walk around your kayak and just look at all the tools that you would need to have while you're out in the water, and just make sure you keep them in your kayak crate. As you can see here, these have been here a while. They're all rusted, but they will work if I need them to in the moment. As you get down here to some more storage, real estate on these bad boys is limited. So anytime you can get some extra storage pockets, you're good to go. So all that's in that video. You guys can check this out, but this is one of my favorite mods. All right, next what we have here is a boomstick. So if you like those over the shoulder shots, which I do, I have this running all the time over my shoulder as I'm fishing to get that awesome view, get those awesome catches. So this is a Yak Attack Boomstick Pro. And of course, I have this tethered down because if you hit an accidental stick or some sort of bush of a head, this will rip off, right? You don't want your expensive boomstick and your expensive GoPro to go to the bottom of the lake. So have that tethered down. I have a lot of my stuff tethered down, as you will notice. I have a Yak Attack Cup Holder here. This really is just for throwing a lot of my lures, soft plastics that might be ripped. I come back and I save all my soft plastics for the year, and I will make remelts on those and make a ton of different baits. I recently did a video. Most people don't even know that you can remelt your lures into new ones. So I'll throw that video in the description below as well. But don't throw away your lures. I think I made 104 soft plastic baits from all my rip baits. So And I like the expensive ones, Yamamoto Senkos, which are like 80 cents a pop. So it might be a good idea. You can save yourself $100 that you can spend elsewhere. All right, next we have, this is a throttle control mount. I did a modification on this too. Be careful, if you get the NK180, when putting it on this throttle control mount from Yak Attack, there's some modifications you gotta do to it or it will not read correctly on the throttle. So watch that video, make sure you got that figured out. I don't have a really expensive paddle on my kayak, one, because I can pedal. And so this is really just a safety, and also now I can throttle down. So this is like a safety to safety in case I get caught up in some stupid lily pads or whatnot and I need to push myself away from shore. I have a really cheap paddle. I don't really need an expensive bending branches. I think this cost me like 30 bucks on Amazon. I'll throw the link in the description below. All right, next I have fish grip. Always have a fish grip. These things are nice because whenever you catch a big fish, I don't want to keep them flapping around the bottom of my kayak and potentially injuring themselves. And so hook them up and I'll just let them kind of swim around off the side of my kayak till I'm ready to take a photo of them if I'm at a tournament, so forth and so on. So just a great way to keep oxygen flowing through those gills. Next, as you can see here, I have a pair of fingernail clippers. These are Rapala. These are nice for cutting braids. I just have those tethered there, and as you can see, as this stuff falls into the water, which it does from time to time, all I do is pull it right back up. All right, this is one of my favorite additions, accessories to add to my Bonafide P127 here. These are the native Sidekicks, and these are attached to the kayak. I pull it from my trailer, roll it down to the water, and once I get in the water, I just turn around, flip these up, pull them out, flip them up, and boom, I'm good to go. I don't have to run back to the truck. And then whenever I'm ready to get out of the water, I turn around, take them, put them back down in the water, and pull my kayak back up to my truck. So I don't have to sit there and wait any time of a boat line. These things are freaking awesome. They're pneumatic wheels, so you can go over like lips of concrete and over gravel, and it's not gonna like jar your kayak. Native Sidekicks, although not cheap, man, I would not invest in a kayak, a fishing kayak, especially a heavy one, without them. All right, let's keep on moving along. So I love this next modification for you. This is technically a paddle holder. Yak Attack makes them. You can find some knockoff brands online as well. But the beauty of this, I don't use it for a paddle holder. I use it for my catch board. So if you're into tournament fishing, which I am, especially kayak fishing tournaments, they don't do it by weight, they do it by length. You take a photo, you upload it to a system, and then the longest fish wins the day, or the longest 5 fish wins the day. So it's really nice to have this available. This is the Ketch X, which is the aluminum one, which is really nice. And after I basically just pull it up, I'll just pull it around, set my fish across it. Typically I won't set my fish across it like this because I've had them jump off before. So actually I'll lay it down at the bottom of my kayak and then take a photo of the fish. And when I'm done, just flip it back and boom, I'm good to go. So really easy access for your catch board. I'll throw the link to both of these in the description below as well. As this past season, I invested in a nice fish finder. This is my Garmin UHD 92 SV. And really what that means is UHD, ultra high definition, 9, the size of the screen, 2, it's gonna be what maps comes with this particular unit. SV stands for side view, which is really side imaging. This unit also has down imaging and has a really nice transducer. I believe it's the GT56, which I'll show you on the underside of this kayak in just a moment. Nonetheless, I did a walkthrough video on this particular unit. If you're interested in kind of what it does, I'll throw that link in the description below as well. Also, if you're having problems with your fish finder, I have a video out there of how to troubleshoot your fish finder that's not working for you. So I got 2 of those, I'll throw them below. And what else do I got? All right, I got this YakHacker. I like this particular cup holder right here. As you can probably see here in a moment, there's some strategy around. I have all of my stuff on the left side of my kayak because I don't land fish on the left side of my kayak. I always land them on the right. I'm right-handed, and I have my net over there, which I'll show you in just a moment. So I have my cup holder over here, and what I like about it, it has these little tabs on it, so it doesn't matter how big the cup is, it's gonna stay in there nice and tight. And so that's what makes this really kind of superior to any other Yak Attack cup holder out there, is these little tabs. So they did a good job thinking through that. All right, something I missed, and a lot of kayakers don't do this, I don't know why, but like I said, not a lot of real estate on your fishing kayak, so anytime you can find storage, do it. And I just went to Walmart. I think I bought this bag for like 20 bucks, this backpack. And so you can get them online. I think they're like 30. I'll throw links in the description below. But a really great place to put your lunch, maybe put some extra worms, put some new packs that you got back there. I keep my scale back here, which we'll talk about in a moment. And so just a really great way. You can put some extra water bottles. Why not use a behind the seat backpack? It's really cheap to get some extra storage out of your yak. And yes, there are some companies out there that will make behind the seat backpacks custom for their kayaks, but they're usually 5x more expensive. So if you're on a budget, maybe just $20 from Walmart. Call me crazy. The reason I bought the Bonafide P127 is because of the Propel drive, which were historically on native kayaks for about a decade. And so these things are tried and tested and just absolutely awesome. Instant reverse, which you don't get with the paddle fins. So that's why I love these Propel drives. I actually have a couple of them, which is nice. So I did a whole entire series on how to work on these, right? You can take these apart, you can grease them. I did a video on just about anything that you needed to do on these Propel drives, and I'll throw that playlist in the description below. If you are someone who is handy and likes to be able to work on the things that you buy, this might be what's perfect for you. And not only that, I love fishing and not having to pick up a paddle and stop and move it and reposition myself. I'm to the point now where I don't even think about it, right? And so whenever I catch a fish, I'm able to start to go instant reverse, keeping less slack in my line. And because of that, I'm able to catch more fish. And so I love the pedal drive system. So the motor is going to get me out to the place I need to go. And this is going to help me maneuver and fish while I am there. So I love a pedal drive. I will never go back to a paddle kayak ever. Did a modification on the pedals so they have some more grip. And so this is basically mountain bike pedals that you can upgrade. I'll throw those in the description below. And this up here is a RAM mount phone holder. It's the articulating mount up here, which is nice. So when I'm fishing, I can just look down and see if it's my wife calling, which I'll answer. If it's someone else calling, if it's not a fishing buddy, typically not answering it while I'm fishing. I don't know about you. Let me know. Do you answer your phone while fishing? Let me know in the comments below. So there's a couple different sizes on these, so keep that in mind when you buy them. If you have a big old phone, I'll throw both the links below. All right, down here I have a native side rail pouch, which is nice. So a lot of times I will stick my scissors in here. So I usually keep titanium scissors. I don't know where they're at right now. Oh, they're over here on my workbench. Nonetheless, this is nice. Throw some sunglasses in here. You can put pliers in here if you want. These are expensive if you buy them from native. However, if you go to Amazon, they have really cheap pouches just like this. And so I'll throw the link to those in the description below. I'm not sure if I shared this, but I have the install video for the Garmin UHD 92SV. I'll throw that in the description below as well. And I recently bought some of these cable clips. The idea here is I got some 3M stickers on the back. I'll be able to manage my cables so they're not everywhere. So I'll throw this Amazon link below. And basically what I'm going to do is basically attach it. Just kind of attach it down here to keep the cables down and away so I don't get any hooks caught on them. And I just like a real nice clean setup. So next, let's open the front hatch, this bad boy. So I got a variety of different things in here. I run a dedicated battery to my fish finder so I don't get any interference. So this is a Nocqua Pro battery kit. These are really nice. It's gonna run my fish finder probably for a couple days before I need to recharge it. I have a first aid kit that I made because I believe a lot of the first aid kits out there for kayak fishing blow. And so I have a video on what I have in here and why I have it in here. And so I'll throw that in the link in the description below. Also got a tow rope. Always have one of these. Trust me, you don't want to be out there and need to be towed and not have a real quick tow rope to do that. Also, if you're going out and someone else has a motor and you guys want to go to the back of the lake, I've had people mothership me out there before when I didn't have a motor. And so nice for that. And I just have a real quick connect as well. And so if I'm ever at the dock and don't want my kayak floating away or need to go to the restroom, I just attach this to the front of my kayak, wrap it around a tree. Just a really easy way to secure your kayak so you don't get done and realize your kayak is 30 feet floating away from you. So that is what's in my front hatch. This is where I run a camera out the front to kind of get that front view when I'm fishing. Just another angle than the back. So a lot of success with this. I like the angle on that, even though sometimes guys and girls are out there like, hey, I prefer not to see up your shorts. But hey, I don't know. So this is really a mounting plate for a motor, but I don't use it for that because I cannot stand having something tall in my way where I'm fishing all the time. So I will probably never have a motor on the front of my kayak. So we'll take a look underneath here for a second. All right, so this is a DIY keel guard. It's made out of Kydex. It's been holding up like a freaking boss. So for like 20 bucks, you can make yourself a DIY Kydex keel guard. I'll throw the video in the description below. I got 2 different ways that you could adhere this. So I have a version 1 and a version number 2. And so you can check those out. And then you can see right here is my GT56 Transducer, and it has a in the hole mounting puck right there. So in the Bonafide P127s, they really thought of this really well. And because they have this built into the design of the kayak, so they run up through here. You can run the excess wires here and then run them out the side and then hook them up to your fish finder. I also always keep a safety horn. You guys see down here, anytime I want to go trolling, I'll attach this to my side rail. And these are the Yak Attack Omega Pros, which have 2 points of articulation, which is really nice. So if you like go from spot to spot, and it's going to take you 20 minutes, throw one of these trolling rod holders, throw a crankbait on your rod, and you'd be surprised what you picked up. I've picked up catfish, I picked up some big bass, you'll pick up crappie, a lot of fun. So don't waste that time when you could be picking up fish. Grab yourself one of these guys, they're like 40 bucks. I'll throw the link in the description below. All right, so I'm not gonna get into the rods. As you can see here, I have a bunch of them, a variety of them. And I just did a video, it's titled, The Only 5 Bass Fishing Rods You Need. And so if you're interested in that, I'll throw that in the description below as well. I usually carry between 5 and 6 rods with me in any given time. And that's strategic for me, right? Because I'm gonna be able to fish probably 28 different types of lures just with those 5 rods. So if you're interested in that bad boy, check out that video. All right guys, next I have my net. This thing's awesome, my Yak Attack Leverage Net. I just simply reach over my shoulder, deploy this bad boy, and pick up those fish without potentially losing it. I was against the net for a long time, but now this thing, I wouldn't go out without it. Especially when you're turnip fishing and money is on the line. So love this thing. I'll throw the link in the description below. I believe that you will love it too. Oh hoo hoo! Can't forget this juice, the first ever under the seat storage for a Bonafide P127 with a sliding drawer. How freaking sweet is that? So you're sitting up here, you need some tackle, you don't have to reach way back here and get into all this junk and open up deals and try to turn around. Sometimes that's difficult for people, and you just have it readily accessible for all the things you plan on needing. Believe it or not, I'm not fishing with Roland Martin's helicopter lures often. I just put this in here with a video to show you that you can get a lot in there. Also up here, you can put our tackle box up top. It's not gonna slide forward, it's got the bungees in there. So I'm gonna show you how to make the brackets for this in that video below. This right here is simply, it's just a magnetic tab. You're not gonna get your controller started unless that's on there. And of course, when I'm getting ready to fish, I'll unattach it from my kayak and put it on my PFD. So if I fall out, my kayak doesn't continue to motor away without me. Couple things here. Don't forget a scale. You never know when you're gonna catch your personal best, and I can't tell you how many times people are like, oh, I caught my personal best, and they have a photo of it, but they don't have any way to measure how big it was, which would be a big, giant bummer. So I'll throw the link to this in the descriptions below. And also some lights. If ever fishing at night, you're gonna need some safety lights, and check your local laws for that. And if you're tournament fishing, I just throw these for my all-around lights on my PFD. Oh, and almost forgot, in order to build this under here, you're gonna need to have some 3D printed seat risers, which you can see right here and right here, bringing the seat up a little bit. Also keep in mind, anytime you lift your seat up, it wasn't designed for that, so it's gonna be less stable than it was. Of course, the lower you are to the bottom of your kayak, the more stable it's going to be. So just keep that in mind. If you don't have really great stability, might not be a really great option for you. I also did a video on some really sick 3D printed seat riser accessories for your kayak. I'll throw that video in the description below as well. Beautiful. Let's hop into this guy now. This is my PFD, personal flotation device. And I love the NRS Raku, especially for my pedal drive kayaks, right? I don't love the high back floats because I like to recline a lot, and I don't want that pushing up in the back of my neck. And the difference between the Chinook that looks exactly like this in the front, it's different in the back because on the Chinook it has a high back float. On the Raku, it does not, as you can see back here. On the Raku, it's distributed all the way down my back. And so I think this is the perfect PFD for a pedal-driven kayak. I have a safety whistle. Ever need that? I'm sure that was incredibly loud. And I have an NRS CoPilot So safety knife if I ever need it. I've used it a couple times. I had my buddy, he actually got his anchor stuck and could not, and it was so windy you could not get it free. So I had to break out my safety knife and cut the rope before we got ourselves in trouble. This is the NRS CoPilot. They also have a Pilot, which is too big to fit on your NRS Raku. And so, because what happens is it extends further down here and it gets in the way of your pouch. So a variety of different pouches here. You keep your phones in. I have my booms, pliers tethered down here in case they need to get a hook out of a fish. That's really easily accessible. So I like having that there. And I did a walkthrough of this entire PFD, and so I'll throw that link in the video below if you're looking at getting this. I'll walk you through in a little bit more detail, but love this bad boy. I also have a low profile, which I use on really, really hot days, but I'm primarily using this guy right here. Oh, I almost forgot. I also have my Rogue phone tether, which is really nice. So before I hop in, I'll throw this bad boy on. Gonna strap it around all four corners, and I have my tethered phone. Phones are expensive, and let me know in the comments below if you've ever lost one or sacrificed one to the fish gods. But really, this goes right here. Especially when I'm tournament fishing, I take photos all the time. If I don't have it on my articulating phone mount on my Propel drive, I'll keep it in my PFD. Easy to get it, take a photo, put it back, zip it up. Good to go. All right, a few more things that I have, but not on my kayak. I usually keep them in my truck is a change of clothes in case you end up getting wet and still want to continue to fish the rest of the day. If it's not too cold out there, it's nice to have a dry change of clothes always in your car or your truck or however you transport your fishing kayak. I also have a pair of polarized sunglasses so I can cut the glare on the water. I can see a lot more structure. I can see a lot more what's going on underneath the water. So it's going to be a huge help. You don't have to have super expensive sunglasses. I have the Cast King Skitaways. I think they're 30 bucks. I lose them all the time, and so I don't want to have a really expensive, a few $100 pair of sunglasses, especially because I know they'll end up in the bottom of the lake literally the next time I go out. A lot of times I'll have an old towel, right? All the hands get slimy when you're handling this bass, so it's nice to have a towel just off the side. I don't know where that's at right now, but I usually carry one of those with me. I also carry some TP, which is in my first aid bag. Don't forget that sunscreen for both your arms and your lips, man. That sun on the water can absolutely destroy you really fast, so make sure you have that. And the last thing I don't carry with me much, but is this guy. I have a DIY anchor. You really don't need to purchase anchors. Anything with a weight is gonna do you really well. But I have this, but since I have a motor and a pedal drive and a paddle all in one, I really don't need this whole lot every once in a while, especially if it's gonna be really, really windy. And I've seen that in the forecast. This is what I'm gonna take with me. And hey guys, if you have a modification on your kayak that you absolutely love that you did not see here, please let everybody know in the comments below. All the videos, everything I reference is gonna be down in the description below. And if you're looking for a way to help support the channel, I am selling these hats. I got a variety of different colors. You can check those out right below this video. They're for sale, free shipping, no tax. Thanks guys for watching. See ya.